Hello and welcome to Shikanime. My name is Lauren, and today I'm looking at another ZeronicKiba video about Overlord. This one is called the Holy Kingdom movie information that we should know. And I feel like this is going to be absolutely vital because I feel like there's a lot of information I'm still missing. I am still going to be starting to try and fill in all of the gaps that I can. But I'm looking forward to this. I enjoyed the last video that I watched from him. And got a very nice comment from him telling me that maybe I should look at this one. So it'll have a little bit more updated information than the last video. So that is what I'm going to do. I'm going to look at this video. I also think I'm going to look at some of his trailer breakdowns and just find out how badly wrong I was about everything. But that is for another day. Today, we're going to just look at the background information on this movie. Let's begin.
Wow, guys, it has been a while, and so I've already received my punishment for taking so long to get back to YouTube because I just recorded an entire 21-minute session here, and I forgot to turn the mic recording on. So this is take number 2. I am already suffering now. So hey guys, what's
I've done that.
Welcome back. I know it's been a long time. Yes, I went on hiatus for December and January. I decided I was going to take most of December off from YouTube just for the holidays. I'm sure a lot of people can relate to that. The holidays is always a busy time of the year for me. And then January, I just had a lot of personal commitments. I had a lot of places to be and a lot of things I had to do in my life. I think I'm just becoming a real adult now. Didn't have enough time to make a YouTube video, but I finally found some time to make a video, and I'm very excited about that because there is something I've been wanting to talk about for weeks, and I really wish I could have made a video earlier when it actually came out. But a couple weeks back, we finally, after like so many goddamn years, it feels like, I don't know, it's been at least two years, possibly even 3 years, but we finally got a trailer for the upcoming Overlord movie. I couldn't be more excited.
I think the trailer that he's talking about in this video, it was the first trailer, right? It was like the teaser trailer from what I recall. Because I did not respond to that because it was like only 40 seconds or something. So I was like, there's no point in me looking at this. I'm not going to be able to glean anything from it.
It looks awesome. Did anyone else watch the trailer? I saw it and it looks like Overlord, but it looks like it has like a fresh coat of paint on it or something. Maybe it has a higher budget, you know, but it looks like it has some nicer animation than the anime. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. So I wanted to make this video discussing the upcoming Overlord movie because there is a lot of information I think you need to know about this just because of how they decided to adapt season 4 and also where this movie takes place like chronologically in the Overlord timeline. It is a little confusing, so I wanted to make this video to provide some background information, also to discuss some things about the movie. So I guess the biggest thing I could start off this video with is that this upcoming Overlord movie is going to adapt volumes 12 and 13 of the light novel. And it's a little bit weird as to where it takes place in the timeline because of how season 4 was adapted. Something to know is that every season of the Overlord anime has adapted 3 volumes of the light novel. So season 1 was 1, 2, and 3. Season 2 was 4, 5, and 6. And
that is interesting because I wasn't sure exactly how that was working. I did realize that time was jumping in ways that were a little bit unclear. But okay, it's good to know that like I wasn't wrong about that. That if they are actually doing 3 and 3 and 3, it is very, very possible that partway through a season there'll be a time jump, and it just wouldn't really register for me. It was a similar problem I had with like season 1 of The Witcher, where it's just like it took me like 5 episodes to realize that everything was jumping around in time. It did take me a while to figure out in Overlord that, oh, this isn't necessarily all happening within like a really, really short period of time. It is happening over quite a while. It just took me so long to figure that out.
And so on. However, season 4 did it a little bit differently. Season 4 adapted volumes 10, 11, and 14. I mentioned this in my season 4 videos, but
that also kind of makes sense.
New movie.
That also does kind of make sense based on it did feel like there was a lot missing from season 4. So I think that's what the movie is supposed to be filling in those gaps, right? Someone said that it's set between episodes 7 and 8. But that will explain where it feels like maybe some gaps existed.
Information. The reason for why they did that is because, in the main Overlord story of the anime up to this point, most of the events have taken place in the Riestes, Baharuth, Slain Theocracy area. If you look at like an actual map of the New World of Overlord, all those countries are like very, very close together, and it's like in the border areas of those countries is where most of the events have taken place in the anime at this point. Most of the events were taking place there during the early parts of Season 4 as well. There were events in the Baharuth Empire, there were events in the former Irantel, which is now the capital of the Sorcerer Kingdom. It's in that general part of the world. Volumes 12 and 13 take place in an entirely separate part of the world called the Robo Holy Kingdom. Now, I have an entire video detailing things about the Robo Holy Kingdom. If you guys want to watch that, I will leave a link to it or a card, right here. You guys can check that out. It is spoiler-free from the light novel. I don't go into any of the plot of the movie.
I will be checking that out, by the way. Literally have it up on a tab next to this one. Like, that is the next video that I'm looking at today, is the explanation of the Robo Holy Kingdom. Also, I know there's so many times in so many of my videos, I got the Slain Theocracy and the Holy Kingdom confused, and I got them mixed up several times. I'm sorry.
So if you want to watch it, you are safe to do so. So because I have a whole video talking about the Robo Holy Kingdom, I'm not going to explain it in this video. But basically, it's like a pretty isolated country in the New World. It's kind of like just on its own. It has like a wall blocking off its main land border. It's a peninsula. So it's pretty much all by itself. And the events of Volume 12 and 13 take place in that part of the world. It's an entirely separate section of the New World that this takes place in. They kind of just cut that part of the story out and just jumped ahead in the timeline to the events of Volume 14 in Season 4 of the anime. And they mention the Robo Holy Kingdom a few times in the beginning parts of the Volume 14 content.
And that's why I was confused. That's why I think I got the Slain Theocracy and the Holy Kingdom confused, because I didn't realize I didn't realize that it was like a separate thing. I thought that it was the same. That's why I was so confused about everything. So thank you for making it make sense, or at the very least for confirming that I didn't just miss a whole bunch of stuff. They literally didn't have it in the show.
Season 4, something happened there, and like the whole thing that steamrolled the plot of the Volume 14 content was Philip attacking aid sent from the Sorcerer Kingdom to the Robo Holy Kingdom, based on the events of what happened in 12 and 13. I remember watching the episodes.
That makes sense why I didn't get it.
I remember thinking, like, man, this is going to be confusing for anyone who hasn't, like, read 12 and 13 and knows what went on. Like, because they keep making references, and, like, literally the whole plot of the 14 stuff was started by events that took place in 12 and 13. I did think it was a little weird that they decided to do that, but it also made sense because the 14 content is back in the previous part of the world that we were in before. So it makes sense that they would just cut it out and make it into its own separate movie. Where you can see this taking place, where this movie is supposed to be taking place, at least in the light novel chronology of Overlord, is in between Season 4, Episodes 7 and 8. It is right in between those two.
That is what I was told.
So, like, in your mind, when you're watching it, you can just be like, okay, this takes place after the dragon stuff and the dwarves, but before everything with Philip goes down. Another thing to talk about is the fact that, this movie is adapting 2 whole volumes worth of content. I have to say, I don't think they're quite my favorites. I still think Volume 14 takes the cake for my favorite volume of the Overlord light novel, but Volumes 12 and 13 are definitely in the upper echelon of the Overlord light novels 14. I love those volumes. It is a very, very long story. They're both like basically part 1, part 2 of this one story in 12 and 13. But something I heard about the upcoming Overlord movie is that they will have
give me the tea.
Which I knew that was going to be the case, unfortunately. I mean, if you think about it, they adapted like 2 volumes in Season 4, Volumes 10 and 11. They adapted those into 7 episodes. They haven't released a runtime for the movie yet, but most anime movies typically run somewhere between like 90 minutes or so. And most anime episodes, if you don't count openings and endings, are like 20-ish minutes. So that's like 4 or 5 episodes worth of content in the movie. And I already thought it was fast when in season 4 they did volumes 10 and 11 in 7 episodes. I already thought that was crazy that they were able to condense a volume down to 3 episodes. So by doing it in this movie format, if it is around 90 minutes, they're condensing a whole 2 volumes into 5-ish episodes. Even if it goes to 2 hours.
Yeah, that's a lot.
That's 120 minutes. That's like 6 episodes, really. So, I mean, that's still less than what they did 2 volumes of in season 4. So unless they make like a Christopher Nolan Einsenheimer or something like that, this movie is going to be, shorter than even 7 episodes worth of content that we got in season 4. So
I would watch an Einsenheimer, though. I would watch that.
Just doing the math, I knew they had to cut something out because I've said this a million times, guys, but so many pages of the Overlord light novel is just internal dialogue. And to be honest, that wouldn't really translate that well to like an anime. It would just be sitting there thinking for 5 minutes at a time, and because it's just pages and pages of internal dialogue. And that's usually the main stuff that I focus on in my breakdown videos like I did in season 4 and like I've continued and will continue to do so for season 1. Most of the stuff that I talk about comes from the background narration of the internal dialogue and stuff.
Okay,
I really
cool.
hope they just get most of the big events. I really don't want to get into spoilers because I want that to be your decision. If you want to, figure it out, you can read the light novel.
Appreciate it.
If you just want to wait for the movie, you can. Guys,
I will.
Really crazy stuff happens in 12 and 13. It is. I'm so excited to see it animated because I've read the light novels. I know what happens, but I'm just really, really excited to see it brought to life. I can't wait.
Okay.
So yeah, unfortunately, that's just not the world we live in. We're not going to get a perfect one-to-one adaptation, but then again, that's kind of
who wants that? Like, that's an adaptation for you.
As an anime series.
Also, that's an adaptation for you. Like, you don't really want a one-to-one, especially not going from, like, it's really, really difficult to do it from a book to an animation or to a movie or something. It's like, it's difficult to do that one-to-one. And like part of the fun of a new medium is trying something different and bringing out, the same themes in a different way. And I will be very curious to, like, after I see the movie, to go back and watch videos about what it was they did cut. Because yeah, they're going to have to cut a lot. I feel like it'll be, but if they do it well, and I've more or less been able to follow what was going on with Overlord from the beginning, regardless of not having any kind of understanding of the world or have seen it. And people have been very, very helpful in the comments to me as well. So that's been very good. But season 4 was the one that like really started to confuse me with like what they were talking about. And I feel like that's where I started to like a little bit start feeling more like an idiot. So I'm very glad that I am having this validation now that no, the reason I was so confused is because things got cut. So makes me happy.
Series, they just cut things out left and right, and it's left us to fill in the blanks, but that's what I'm here for. I definitely plan to make a video like my other videos that I've done comparing the light novel to the Overlord movie.
Cool.
Once it comes out, I do plan to make a video on that stuff. As a matter of fact, I'll probably make several because it is going to be, like I said, much longer. So I'll probably just make it like, I'll maybe make like 3-4 videos about the movie, just talking about, things that we were missing out on. But I'm definitely still excited. I'm still excited to see these events brought to life because, like I said, guys, these are 2, maybe not quite my favorite volumes. My God, the camera keeps freaking... Can you focus in, please? Anyway, back to what I was saying. These aren't... I wouldn't say they're my favorite. I think Volume 14 takes the cake for my favorite light novel volume, but they're definitely in the upper echelon of Overlord light novel volumes
Cool.
for me. So I'm just excited to see them brought to life. And also, I think for anyone that hasn't read the light novel, this is going to be a new country in the world.
Yes.
This country has not been shown at all in the Overlord anime.
Okay, good to know.
Scenes that take place there. It's mentioned a few times, but like I said, this movie is going to grow the world of Overlord for the anime onlys very, very big. And
I don't think I quite realized how close Nazarick was to the Baharuth Empire. Like looking at this, I did not register how close it was to both the Dwarven Kingdom and the Baharuth Empire. Good to know.
And the Robo Holy Kingdom is just really interesting. So like I said, guys, I will leave a link to my Robo Holy Kingdom explained video in the description if you guys want to check that out. Like I said, there are no plot spoilers in that video, so if you want to watch it and you're not looking to be spoiled, you can watch it safe. It's gonna be fine. Because the teaser trailer was so short, there's really nothing to analyze, break down. It's just a very short thing with Demiurge being evil, which is his calling card. So
shocking.
Whatever. But I did want to make this video to give you guys the information I think you need before you go into this, because of the weird kind of configuration of the content and how it was adapted, and like, oh, I watched season 4, but this takes place before season 4, but where are we, what's going on? It is a little confusing, so I wanted to make sure everyone understood before we started this movie. I'm just so excited. So they still haven't committed to a release date yet, but we do know it's coming out this year, so luckily I don't have to wait any more than a year to see this movie finally. I mean, damn, like, all we got was like some art, I think, over like the past like 2 years. Like they announced this thing in like 2021, 2022. It's been a long time since they announced this thing, and like we're just now getting like, this is the year it'll come out. They still want to commit to a date, but like now they're telling us like 2-3 years down the line, like, hey, this is the year it's coming out now finally. But better late than never, I guess. Are you excited for the upcoming Overlord movie? I'm sure everyone in the Overlord community, all of us, I don't know about you guys, I've been dying for more content to absorb in the Overlord anime, so I'm very, very excited. Leave your thoughts in the comment section below. I always want to hear from you guys. Of course, I also plan to continue with my Overlord Season 1 volume breakdowns, so if you want to see more of those, please hit that like button to let me know. If you aren't already, please subscribe to the channel. It helps me out more than you know, and it'll let you know when I post in the future. With that being said, I want to thank you all for watching to the very end of the video, and I will see you all next time. Bye.
Okay. Bye-bye. Okay, great. And I do find that very, again, I'm giving him a little like. I do find that interesting and helpful. And again, validating. Because I know people, like, my comments were full of people being like, it's not the Slain Theocracy. I'm like, but like, they're religious. And it didn't, like, they kept calling it the Holy Kingdom, but I just, for whatever reason, I just was like, no, it's Slain Theocracy. It's the, Magic Catholics, I think is what I was calling the Slain Theocracy. So like, it was validating there that now it's like, okay, makes a lot of sense that I was confused. People did try to explain it to me in the comments that they were different things. And so it's like, and then I was like, oh, of course, by the time I'm seeing those comments, I'm usually like 2 episodes ahead. So, it was appreciated, but I'd already like made a fool of myself in later videos. So hopefully that won't happen again. But I did appreciate that video. It was helpful. He was very correct. And like I said, I'm going to move on to checking out the Holy Kingdom Explained, because I think that will be very helpful for me to see and to know and to understand some extra things about the Holy Kingdom itself. And what it's all about. I want to know what their deal is. And maybe after I watch these 2 videos, I won't do it on stream or on camera or whatever, but I think I might go and do another peek at the trailer. And I'll probably watch his trailer breakdowns, and I'll probably again do those off camera. But we shall see. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. If you haven't already, make sure that you like and subscribe at here, and make sure that you're, over on ZeronicKiba's videos too. Like over there, subscribe to his channel. He's very knowledgeable. So check him, make sure that you're showing him some love as well, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye-bye.